Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the G.I. Joe 30th Anniversary line, Zombie Viper, the Cobra Trooper. Now, if you follow my videos, you know that at the time I'm making this video, I'm right smack in the middle of reviewing the Series 3 of the 30th Anniversary. And I had just got my order in from the BigBadToyStore.com, and so one of my buds is like, Series 4 is already online. I'm like, you're kidding. So I jumped online and I ordered a couple of Zombie Vipers. Now, before we actually go into the review, this is a really polarizing figure. G.I. Joe fans either couldn't wait for this guy or they didn't want to touch this guy. But he looks fantastic here in the packaging. Of course, on the back here, you can see some of the other characters. A very nice little picture of him shambling along. And his read-up says, Zombie Vipers are Cobra infantry troopers who have been given a mysterious chemical substance, Compound Z, that has turned them into drones. Wiped of all thought, they follow orders mindlessly and cannot be reasoned with or sidetracked. They have retained their skill at combat. In fact, their desire to fight has been increased, making them more dangerous than before. In other words, they are deadly zombie warriors. So, not only are they not the mindless zombies, who look like they've got some extra little attachments here. They're just as good as they were when they were human. But back here it says combat gear, containment helmet, alternate tendril arms, claw attack hands, and barbed wire. Looks like we lost the barbed wire, which I'm not exactly heartbroken about. But we also lost the claw attack hands, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, this guy looks amazing. Let's open him up. Rarely am I at loss for words with a figure, but man, this guy is amazing. This guy is definitely bringing back, a lot of fond memories from being a kid of, just collecting G.I. Joe. More on that later, but he is just such an unbelievable sculpt. Now, real quick, I do think we're missing more than just the barbed wire and the claw attack hands. His Compound Z hose said Compound Z bulbs were his primary weapon. You can plug it into any of those 4 slots, but there's actually 3 separate holes in the back of his helmet to be feeding Compound Z in. So I'm guessing there was supposed to be a couple more of those, so that's unfortunate, but honestly, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm going to buy a crap load of these guys so I can easily have 1 or 2 that are all hooked up. And once again, just the detail. You can see his, decayed face leering out at you from the helmet full of Compound Z. If I had one gripe at all with the sculpt, it'd be I wish the Cobra logo had been red, but he's got a torn harness, like maybe he's been tied up somewhere. Absolutely beautiful detail. You can see the decaying flesh. You can see Compound Z coursing through his veins. The uniform's all tattered. Those sleeves are actually a separate piece. We'll get onto that in a second. There's still gear strapped onto him. Just all the way down to his feet. He's got the, torn up legs. He's barefoot. Fantastic looking figure. Well, let's actually pull his Compound Z containment helmet off his head, because it's absolutely way too beautiful to not at least have one. Like I said, I'm already going to army build the crap out of these guys, and some of them are going to have their helmets off, because look at out of focus. Look at that head sculpt. It's absolutely disgusting in a good way. He's got the eyes leering out at you. You can see there's parts of his skull missing. There's, the Compound Z just pulsing beneath there. His face looks like his jaw's about to fall off. An absolutely beautiful face sculpt. Well, beautiful in a creepy way, which is still good. So, panning back out. Now, we'll get onto his articulation before we show his alternate tendril hands. Of course, it's the standard Cobra base. His head does up, down, would do a full 360, but hindered by the way his Compound Z pack is hooked on. The arms go out, do a full 360, bend and spin at the elbow, spin and bend at the wrist, so you can get a lot of nice classic zombie poses in there. His main admin articulation is kind of hindered by his torn harness, although you can pull this off easy enough, although you won't be able to have the Compound Z bulbs in there. Legs go forward, back, out, double jointed at the knee, and have a very nice ankle joint. So, fantastic articulation. Always great to see the wrist get the hinge joint. Now, let's actually pop one of his arms off. As you can see, the torn sleeve is an actual separate piece, and this is just begging to be like in the middle of a ninja display, like Snake Eyes just chopped one of his arms off. But his tendril arms, blah. I don't really know which one's left and which one's right. I don't really think it matters. Pop that on. And you get this crazy attachment going. Let's actually get both arms here. And once again, no idea if I'm messing the arms up or anything, but, well, I mean, placing them on the wrong arms. Get him pegged back on his base here. Oh, kind of hard to line his foot pegs up. Come on, Zombie Viper. There we go. And now you've got the Zombie Viper with his tendril attachments, and that just looks fantastic. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be. It's almost like plant attachments, but they're growing off, and just, you could easily wrap those around a G.I. Joe. It looks great. So, I just can't say enough good things about this figure. Now, like I said, a lot of fans are, well, some fans at least, are kind of ticked off about this guy. It's like, you know, zombies in the G.I. Joe line. And to me, I'm like, you know, G.I. Joe has always at least been based, to some extent, in science fiction. You can't argue that. I mean, characters like Flash, who have experimental weapons, or Sergeant Flash, or also another character from this line, sci-fi, obviously. They've got machines that control weather. I mean, for God's sake, when the line was ending, they had Manimals, although those never saw the light of day until like 2002. So, we first got Cobra Commander back in the Pursuit of Cobra line, had like a canister of Compound Z. Then the Hazard Vipers are specially trained to handle Compound Z. And now we see what it does. So, while I'm kind of bummed that we lost the claw hands, and I still think there were more bulbs meant to attach to this guy, he's an absolutely astounding figure. I usually have a rule of, although these arms are kind of irritating to get popped on and stay on, I usually have a rule of army building where I'm like, I can only get 6 of each guy just because my collection's way too cluttered as is. But with this guy, that rule's out the window. Whenever I find this guy, I'm going to buy him. People in my hometown are going to have to fight me for him. It's an amazing G.I. Joe figure. Amazing detail. I love the fact that it's a zombie because it really takes me back to when I was a kid, and it was a little over the top and dramatic, and I'm just insane. This is one of my favorite G.I. Joes in years. I'm gushing like a fangirl over this figure. He obviously hasn't shown up. A lot of online retailers don't even have him at the time I'm making this video. Within the next week or so, they should be getting him in. Go out, pick him up, and this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.